Okay, so uh, we'll jump into some examples of how to run the shell scripts to create a new dictionary, create an updated dictionary, and create the new translated flow. What you're seeing here on the screen is just the spec file running, so just the assertion statements that we have written for the logic here. So I'm just going to clear this out and pop into the README, since that should tell us what we need to know about creating our dictionaries. Okay, so first in our README, we'll look at creating a new dictionary from a Twilio flow. So in your terminal, from the root folder, which is just the rapid response folder where our project lives, we'll go ahead and enter this script. This is the path to the source flow, so we'll enter that in together. So what we're doing is sh, this is because we are going to be running a bash script, so it's just the type of logic that we're running. And then we're going to go into our shell folder, we'll go into this file, create new dictionary, and it's going to take one argument, so that is the path to our flow. Your flow might live outside of this project, but I have a mock flow, and so I'm just going to use that one. Okay, so it says starting process to create a new Twilio dictionary. It just tells us the path that we've entered for our parent flow, and it asks us for some information. So provide a title to use in creating the dictionary. We are going to enter this without spaces because we want to grab the whole string. So let's do test title, and 1.0 will be our title. File name, again, we're going to enter this without spaces. And we'll just also do 1.0, sorry. And then the languages, so this is just going to be a list of languages. The program is set to default EN for the source language. So let's say we want to do, this is just an example, maybe you want to do French and Arabic, so we'll just enter that in, no spaces. And then it tells us that these are the languages we've entered in. It says writing new file, and looks like it's been successful, so it tells us to check the output dictionary folder. We'll go there, output, dictionaries. I put quite a few dictionaries in here because I've been testing this out. So if we go in here and we format our document, you can see we have French, we have Arabic, and we would probably want English as well, since that's our source language. So I think what I'm going to do, that's fine. This is a good lesson and just kind of redoing this stuff. So I'm going to do this one more time. Delete that, and then test file name. And I'm going to do EN, I definitely want that, and AR we'll say. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. Format document. Okay, so now we have EN, and that's preserving the strings from our original flow. So that looks, yeah, that looks good. That looks like what we'd expect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clear that out. Let's look at the next action, which is to create the translations. So in the README, we outline how to add translations to the Twilio flow. Can put more detail there. Sorry, missing an I. And then after we have that completed translation, we can generate the Twilio flow translations. So let's look at the instructions for that. In your terminal, from the root folder, rapid response survey, we're going to enter in this command, sh. We're going to go into the shell folder, create translated, create new translations. This needs to be updated. Create new translations. Sorry about that. Okay, and it takes two arguments. The path to the source flow and the path to the source dictionary. So I am going to be using just the mocks that I created, but any path, as long as it's a valid Twilio source flow, will work for this. And then the source dictionary, I also have a dictionary mock that I'm going to use. Okay, you have requested to translate a Twilio flow. Here's the path for the source, here's the path for the dictionary. Provide a file prefix for each file. So let's do test translation 1.0. And then a description, again, we're going to not use spaces, so description. And now translating flows. So it looks like we've got 3 new files output. That's what we would expect. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those there. So it says check the outputs flows folder. So let's go ahead and look. Test translation 1.0. We have 3. Let's look at one of these. Format document. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, because this was a mock, it was not a well-translated document, but I put an ES string in there just to confirm that the strings were different. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the last one here. Go back to the README. And this is if we have to ever update a Twilio flow dictionary. So let's say we've added a question to our source flow. We want to update the dictionary using the existing dictionary, add the translations in, and then regenerate flows. Updating the dictionary will be one distinct step, and we'll do, we want to definitely include a shell command down here. So this is going to be, well, let's just do it here together, and then we can fill that in. So create updated dictionary, and that's going to take the path to the source flow, and it's going to take the path to the source dictionary, so the original dictionary. And so let's use dictionary mock. Okay, test, update, test, update. Okay, so you can see that we use the same mock and the same dictionary as before. We didn't actually add any questions. So in that case, you're just going to get a response, did not find new entries, and it did not create a new dictionary. If, however, we go into the source flow, let's say, and let's change the name of this to Q1 test, and then we go back here and we run the same script, so we'll see that we found one of the names was missing. So in that case, we did write an updated dictionary, and we get that success message. So test update dictionary, let's go ahead and format this. Question 1, question 2. So now we have 4 questions. We updated this question, but we didn't actually delete it from our dictionary. So it won't be part of the translated flows because it won't be used, but we've just added a question. So if you would like, you can go in and delete questions that are no longer in use, but this service isn't going to delete them for you, just as a protective measure. Okay, the one other thing I want to show is, let's say we have a dictionary like this that is not filled out. and we tried to generate the updated flows for that. So let's go ahead and do shell create new translations. So we're going to use the same flow, but we're going to look at this dictionary. So, and actually real quick, I'm just going to update that so it's back to what it was. So we have the skeleton matches the actual source flow, but we don't actually have all of the translations in this one. So let's go into output, dictionaries, test dictionary. Okay, so please provide a file name, date, okay, so yeah, we are missing translations in this. Okay, so it tries to write the files, but something went wrong. Specifically, we get some error messages that should be helpful. Could not find ES translation for Q1 in dictionary. We're missing some translations here. Could not find ES translation for Q1 error in dictionary. And we never actually get to AR, but it is going to help us out and validate that we actually have some valid translations. So if something is missed, if this is an empty string or just has a space character here, then we'll get a little bit of support from the program telling us that that couldn't actually be translated. Okay, I think that wraps it up for this piece here. I just want to reiterate that these will be living on local users' computers. It will not be something that will be pushed up to GitHub. And then once these are here, the user is completely at will to move these around into whatever storage folder that they would like them to live permanently. But just for the sake of a little bit more cleanliness and keeping things localized, we've put it here for now.